Hello everyone and welcome to another video for cramtheexam.com where I have a look at another English exam question, this time for the CAE Advanced English exam, or Matura Advanced if you're doing the Matura Advanced. This will help you with your skills. This question is the keyword transformation question, a nightmare of a question on your use of English paper. Yes, this is a toughie, just like the open close. This one is the one that causes the most nightmares. And for good reason. There are lots of points on this question, and if you have a nightmare, you're going to lose lots of points, but hopefully that won't happen. Hopefully, with using lots and lots of practice and with your great knowledge of vocabulary and grammar structures, you will score as near to maximum amount of points as possible. So just before we begin, let's go through the instructions just so that there are no mistakes. First of all, you've got to change this sentence, the example sentence, into this question using that sentence using this keyword, which you cannot change in any way, shape or form, and in order to fill in the gap you must use between 3 and 6 words, and that's an important total, remember, because if you get some of your answers in this particular exercise might run to 7 words, so you've just got to be careful that you don't go further than 6 words, and of course you've got to include the word which is given. Okay, so let's go through our questions and hopefully explain in a way that you can understand why the answers are the answers. So let's get started. How can I make him understand that I don't want to see him anymore? First of all, and our keyword is across. First of all, let's have a look at the language we don't need to worry about. How can I? We don't have to worry about that because it's written here. And then we've got that I don't want to see him anymore, which looks at this bit here. So we don't have to worry about that bit of language. So we just have to think about how can we transform this. Now here we're going to need you're going to need your vocabulary skills, because make him understand is synonymous with the phrasal verb get across, or get something across to somebody else. So in other words, you have to say get what across. So first of all, we've got the phrasal verb get across to somebody. So we've got to think, first of all, what do I have to get across? And we've got a couple of options. We can either say get it across in general, or we could say get the message across. So we've got two options there with get it across or get the message across. And then we've got this option here to somebody, because we've got this option here of him. So it's always good to look at that vocabulary which we need to transform, and we've got to try and use as much of it as we possibly can. So we can say, how can I get the message across to him that I don't want to see him anymore? And if we count our words, we've got 6 words there, so that's not a problem. If we hit the answers, we can see that we've got actually a number of options. We can say get the message across to him, get it across to him. All answers going along the same lines. For question number 2, let's just set that up properly. Parents predict chaos in schools unless the strike is called off. So parents claim it. So that bit refers to, I would say, this bit here. And then we've got the teacher's strike goes ahead. So here we're talking about the strike is called off, I would say. So we've got difficult transformation here. We haven't got exact vocabulary matches, but we've got similar, synonymous vocabulary matches. So let's have a look at this. So we've got this. The bit that's missing in this question here is this idea about chaos and that it will happen. So we've got the keyword there, result. So straight away we're thinking of expressions that we could use with result, and let's think about time as well. If we're using the verb predict, it means that we're talking about the future. So let's put in will result in chaos. Spell chaos correctly. And then we've got to think about this bit here, which is unless. Unless is a conditional form, so we've got to include a conditional form in our answer. So parents claim it will result in chaos if the teacher strike goes ahead. Let's see our answer, and that's exactly it. So this was actually quite tricky. I might have got it wrong in my explanation of the at the beginning. So we didn't have to worry about parents. And then we've got this bit about the strike is called off. So the bit that we actually had to work with was predict chaos in schools unless. So here with question number 1, if I scroll back up, here we've got direct language or the exact same language in both sentences. So here life is a little bit easier. But when we've got synonymous ideas or synonymous language, as we found out just now, we've got to be very careful about what language we have to concentrate on and we have to transform in order to get our correct answer. Let's have a look at question number 3, see if this is going to be easier or more difficult. Police are warning people to, here we go. Police, first of all, let's have a look at the question. Police are warning people to check for forged notes which are currently in circulation. Forged notes means fake notes, not genuine notes. In circulation means that they are being used by people in public. So we've got a keyword, lookout. Straight away you should be thinking expressions would look out, I think. So let's have a look at the language we don't have to worry about. Certainly we don't have to worry about this bit. Oh, hang on a second, moving the page. Police are warning people to be, and that bit is there. And then we've got forged notes which are currently in circulation. So we've got to think about transforming this part of text here. And if you're familiar with this vocabulary expression, this expression, to be on the lookout for. So if you're on the lookout for, it means you're checking for something. You're seeing if something is happening. You're being aware that something might happen. And if we hit our answers, that's exactly what we've got here. So police are warning people to be on the lookout for forged notes. Question number 4. It's possible they got the wrong idea and thought the party was next week. We've got our keyword reached. And then we've got they might, conclusion, and thought the party was next week. So we've got this bit is covered in the second part of the sentence. Wrong idea might cover conclusion. Let's be a bit careful there, but it could cover this bit here. And it's possible that they might refer to they might. First of all, let's have a look at tenses and times. So it's possible that they got the wrong term. So we're talking about past forms. And we've got a modal here, which means if we're using modals in the past, we've got to use the correct form of have. So they might have reached. Now we know that idea is covered by conclusion, so we've got to cover in our answer wrong, so it fits conclusion. And of course we can use exactly that vocabulary. They have reached the wrong conclusion and thought the party was next week, and you can see that's the answer. You can see that we've got a contracted form here, that's also okay. Just a quick word on contractions though. If in case you think you're going to be clever, contractions such as don't are counted as 2 words. In other words, don't is counted as do and not. So don't think that you can use a contraction and it's only 1 word. The only contraction that you can use which counts as 1 word is cannot. All other contractions count as 2 words, so just be careful for that. For question number 5, it was a mistake not to write the telephone number down. We got our keyword point, And then we've got writing down the phone number, which covers this bit here. So we've got to think about it was a mistake not to write. But here we've got the first person, active voice. Once again, we're talking about the past. So we've got a modal in the past, which means that we need a form of have. I should have... What's the expression that we need? What we're trying to say here is this is something that I should have done. And the expression with point, which means the same as I should have made sure I've done this, is I should have made a point of. Once again, you can see that you've got the contracted form there. It's also allowed. So I should have made a point of writing down the telephone number. In other words, I should have made sure that I wrote down the telephone number. So this was another tricky transformation, a test of your vocabulary skills. Okay, let's get on to question 6, the last question on this keyword transformation exercise. Tricky one, this one, so let's make sure that we're paying attention to everything in our example sentences and the sentence we have to transform. The example sentence, apparently they're planning on rerouting the traffic to reduce congestion. Our keyword is drawn. Drawn is a past participle. Plans reroute the traffic to reduce congestion. Now, reroute the traffic to reduce congestion is covered in this bit here. So we've got to think about this part of the sentence and transforming this part of the sentence. So we've got to pay attention to what this sentence is doing. First of all, we've got people who are doing something. So we've got the subject here, they. And then we've got a continuous form. Are planning. This is our verb structure. And then what follows is the subject. So we've got a subject and a verb, and we know what kind of verb. So we've got it's a present continuous verb. Here for our the sentence we have to change, plans goes first. Now plans refers to rerouting the traffic to reduce congestion. So what we've got here is the object which is coming first, which comes first. So if the object comes first before the verb, what we know is that this is a passive structure. So I mentioned that drawn is a past participle. Past participles are either used in the perfect form or in the passive voice. Here we can't use the perfect tense because, as mentioned, we're using the continuous form here. So we've got to use the continuous form in the passive using our past participle. So plans are being drawn up. We've got to remember our preposition. If you draw up a plan, it means that you're creating, inventing, designing, whatever it might be, fitting the context. So plans are being drawn up to reroute the traffic to reduce congestion. So we've got a full infinitive after our passive continuous structure. The question now becomes, what about our subject? Can we fit this into our sentence? Well, the answer is yes, we can. We can say plans are being drawn up by them to reroute the traffic to reduce congestion. But if we do this, what's the problem? The problem is the amount of words that we're using. Here, we've got 7 words. We're only allowed a maximum of 6, which means that we cannot include our subject or agent in this passive structure. So the answer in this case is plans are being drawn up to reroute the traffic to reduce congestion. Tricky, nasty little question to finish off this keyword transformation exercise. And as a matter of fact, if we go through all of the questions, they were quite tough. You need a good knowledge of vocabulary, a good knowledge of grammar structures in order to do the transformations in the correct way. So this was a toughie, no doubt about it. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video. Please check out my YouTube channel, subscribe it, subscribe to it. If you haven't already visited my Facebook page, you can go along there and like me, keep up to date with all the videos that I do. And if you are studying an advanced level course book, whether it's Advanced Gold, Advanced Expert, or Ready for Advanced, on my website, cramtheexam.com, you'll have videos for every single exam question in those course books, so you can study and prepare for your exam as quickly as you like, and do as many questions as you like. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you again soon.